Good Sunday morning. This is Tim, Old Man Gig. What we're going to be covering today is the difference between being a gig worker or an independent contractor and a regular employee or slash worker, meaning you're employed by somebody else as a worker. Okay, now the main difference between them is, let's define what a employee slash worker is. All right, under the labor laws, an employee or worker is an individual who works under supervision of control of an employer. A worker who is employed by an employer. An employee works in the service of the employer under the express or implied contract of hire that gives the employer the right to dictate, key word here, dictate the employee's work duties and responsibilities. So what does that really mean? That means an employee or someone who's a worker for a company, employed by that company, they work in a specified area, in a specified manner, doing specified work, and under specified conditions set by the employer. The employer is responsible for, like if you work in a factory, they're responsible for ensuring the equipment is operated properly, the equipment is in good working condition, there's a healthy work environment, people have certain rights under the law in those settings. Okay, now let's break it down for what an independent contractor is, which you are if you do DoorDash, Uber Eats, Uber, Lyft, or any of those other contract work. Right? You're an independent contractor, meaning you're self-employed. Subcontractor, independent contractor means this is the same thing as someone who is self-employed. So that means you're working for yourself. So if you don't like your work conditions, that's on you. All right. So what is an independent contractor? Let's get up this here. All right. Independent contractor. Independent contractor can be any of these, and sometimes many of them are, such as a doctor, dentist, veterinarian, lawyer, and many other professions and professionals who provide independent services are classified as independent contractors. So even that has even now fallen under doing what we call gig work, side hustle work, whatever you want to call it. You're an independent contractor. It controls contractors, subcontractors, writers, software designers, auctioneers, actors, musicians, and many others who provide independent services to the general public. And now that has become those in the food industry or in the food delivery industry or gig economy. All right, must attract their own earnings and include every payment received from clients, which DoorDash is your client. You're right. They're not your employer. They're your client. So that's a big distinction. So when people are saying we need better work environment, what, from your client? Do you think when you go to the Walmart or wherever else as a client, you're a client. So Walmart should come to you and say, hey, we need to have better work environment from you because you're our client. That makes no sense. Come on. And you get to change you get to do your own schedule. You get to dictate when you work, you don't get dictated to. You get to dictate what contracts or offers you're going to accept. That's an independent contractor. A worker would be if you're getting compensation by whether it be hourly rate or commission with a base pay or base salary or strictly commission, and you get dictated to what hours you work, what days you work, for how long you work, and what you're going to be doing during that time that they tell you you're scheduled to work. None of that gets applied to an independent contractor. So anybody out there who says, use the words, we're DoorDash workers. No, you're not. You're a DoorDash. DoorDash is your client. Okay? Uber Eats, Uber, Lyft, they're your client. They give you offers and as to do work, and you can accept or decline. So that worker safety is on you. If you put yourself in a bad situation, that's on you. If your vehicle breaks down, that's on you. And keep in mind, if you're employed and an employer, you don't get to deduct the mileage you did for work, going back and forth to work, because you work for somebody else. We get to deduct. So being independent contractors, we get deductions because of that's involved in doing our work as being self-employed independent contractors. You people need to get to know the difference between the two and quit trying to overlap them when they're not overlapped. It's ridiculous. You can't demand, hey, we want this, and this from you. Okay, then what's your alternative? To make you an employee, and then they get to dictate everything, and you're like, no, I don't want that. I want this, and I want that. I'm sorry, Karen. That doesn't happen. That's not how it works, Karen. So quit being Karens. Seriously. You're an independent contractor. What you make is dependent on you, not somebody else. The offers you take are up to you. Where you go is up to you. So I'm tired, and everybody's like, oh, but they need to do this. You know what? Then you're not required to work for them. That's not a condition of employment, because there is no condition of employment. There's a contract between you and DoorDash being your client. Yes. So if you don't like it, you can opt out of the contract or don't take offers. Nobody's forcing you to. And so this idea that somehow you can, it's ridiculous. All right, unless you want to make it an employer-employee relationship, which we do not have as independent contractors. All right, so learn the difference between the two, differentiate between the differences of the two. Don't try to overlap them and try to make it to where you can't do this or can't do that. There's a difference between the two, and there's a reason why there's a difference. Okay, so make it more profitable for you. DoorDash, Uber Eats, and all of them, they're a tool for you to use as independent contractors, for you to make your money for yourself as an independent contractor or self-employed. They're a tool. They're not your employer or employee. They're a client. A client is a tool. Believe it or not, just simple terms. Client is a tool or means to make an income. So they're part of a tool. If that's the only tool you'll have in your toolbox, that's on you. That's not on me. That's not on them. That's on you. If you're solely relying on them. So stop. Please. Think about it. Realize what you're doing and what you're saying. It's not the same. Okay? So I just want to do some clarification on that. And let's get it out there. Do the smart thing. Do what's best for you. You can decline orders. You're not obligated to take them. There's no punishment for not taking a set amount of orders. Everybody knows that. There's no, we're going to deplatform you. They're going to take you off the app. At least that has not come around. And if that does, then there can be some legality to that. There could be some legal actions on their side. Because, and like I said before, and they're under no obligation to give you offers. So it's a two-way street, and you want it one way, and you can't, and that's wrong. So please like, subscribe, and watch my other videos that you'll see up here, and please click on through, hit the subscribe button up above. Thank you. This is Old Man Gig. Peace.